So it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for yet another edition of NXT, actually. And it's legit NXT tonight, because tonight at 8 p.m. on the WWE Network is NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, live from Winter Park, Florida at Full Sail University. And I'm going to be discussing last week's Impact today to get you hyped for the big special event tonight. Makes perfect sense to me. And I will be joined by Ashley and Aaron and a special guest for NXT TakeOver Popcast tonight. So that's going to be at 11:30 p.m. And like Ashley said on the Raw Popcast, if we're a couple minutes late, don't go anywhere. We're going to be joining you as soon as we possibly can. Ashley covering a few other things for his other presence on video for the week, and not pop-related, other things as well. His other podcasts and getting other information ready. I guess in some ways you probably could say some of the stuff he's going to be looking at and covering for us is going to be something that he's going to have to watch tonight. So that's the reason why we're having to schedule things around that. But don't worry, 11:30, and if it's not 11:30 on the dot, don't worry, it will be very soon after. And we're going to be talking NXT for the first time with Ashley and myself, like I said, joined by Mr. Entertainment, Aaron, and his friend, actually. He's going to be a special guest on the podcast. So with that being said, let's talk about NXT from last week. I'm sure you're wondering where the Impact video is. Since Impact is being preempted because for some reason Destination America want to show the 2014 Slammiversary, which I've already recapped on this channel, I basically am going to give it another week. So you'll have Impact video next week. That's what it sounds like at this point. Let's talk about the show, shall we? We're on the road that finally ends today. Yes, it's the road to Unstoppable is its final stopping point. This is the go-home show to Unstoppable. And it started off with Baron Corbin taking on Solomon Crowe. Match was short, straight and to the point. Crowe got a lot of offense in, and then Corbin just shut him down with a clothesline. Tossed him into the corner twice. High velocity whip, and got a crowd chant, "Baron's gonna bore you." So the crowd in Full Sail have thus turned on Baron Corbin, kind of like what they did with, the opposite of what they did with Bull Dempsey. So Crowe with a running knee in the corner, and a high kick, goes for the springboard, gets caught with End of Days, and 1, 2, 3, Corbin wins. Match over. Rhino comes out and says, "So you're the other Unstoppable Force. You want to do this or not?" And next thing you know, they start brawling. And they have to be separated by security, and Rhino gores two of them, and that's the end of that. So we're building towards Rhino and Baron Corbin tonight on the NXT TakeOver, and I think it should be really entertaining. They really are intent on building Baron Corbin. I think as a heel, it's going to work a lot better than it will as a babyface or as a tweener. Like I said, that term is kind of lame, but I mean, it's still there. It's like you're in the middle of the two, and I think that a heel Baron Corbin is going to be a lot better idea in the long run. And I think that given the fact he's working with someone like Rhino, he's going to be able to learn in the ring, and I do think that the match may not be the greatest, but I do think that it's going to benefit both men in the long run. And I can definitely see Corbin winning this. Hopefully it's going to go a lot longer than his matches with Bull Dempsey did. So all three men that were involved in the three-way dance to determine the number one contender for the NXT Championship are interviewed on this show. The first one being Finn Balor. He says he's going to win the main event tag team match tonight, which is Finn Balor and Hideo Itami against Adam Rose and Tyler Breeze. And he says the reason why is because the Demon is coming. Tyler Breeze is interviewed, and he says it's not if, but when, and both Finn and Itami are nothing but flavor of the month. He doesn't care who the champion is. He's still going to be the next champion. Like I said, I love Tyler Breeze, and I really hope they push him for this. We get a matchup between the NXT Women's Champion, the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Casey Cassidy. I like this, bringing in indie workers to work with the established NXT Women's talent. I really enjoy this a lot, obviously. The connection with Blue Pants coming in, Leva Bates, and I know she's going to end up being a part of the show, and I'll talk about her in a minute, actually. And Crazy Mary Dobson last week. I thought that was kind of cool, obviously. But we have Casey Cassidy this week. And before the match starts, Sasha gets on the mic. I just read this the wrong way, and basically said Becky got lucky last week, and we get a chant of "Let's go Sasha, let's go black shorts," because they don't officially announce who Casey Cassidy is. They're just basically referencing the fact that she's wearing black and red shorts. So that's basically what we've got. So Casey gets an inside Credo out for a 1 count and a backslide. Quick 2 pinning predicaments, only get near falls, and we eventually get ducks the clothesline from Sasha. Crossbody, give for a 2 count, and that was the end right there, because at that point Sasha took back over, hit her double knee drop in the corner, she mocks Becky's taunt, and she hits the bank statement, and match over. So I like this because it showed the boss's dominance and helped me get more excited for Sasha and Becky, which I think could possibly steal the show tonight at TakeOver, and I think it justifiably so. Uhaa Nation is coming. Still doesn't have a name yet. I really like the vignette. The video package looked really cool, and I like how it ends with him shaking hands with William Regal, and it says, "Coming soon." We still don't have a name for the guy yet. Poor guy. They'll figure it out eventually. So Devin's in the back with Charlotte and Bayley, and all Charlotte got out of last week's heated words was the fact that, Dana's just jealous that Tap Out chose her instead. And Bayley says that there's another side of her as well. And they both talk about TakeOver. We will be there. We hope you show up too. And they woo together. So, building up to their tag team match, which is going to happen tonight at TakeOver. I'm pretty positive that Dana Brooke and Emma are going to take this. I don't see a reason why not. You're building Dana Brooke. Charlotte is on the tip top of her NXT career before she gets brought up to the main roster, and it's not necessarily time to pull the trigger on Bayley yet. So she's still waiting in the wings, obviously, and I do think she wins the women's championship down the line. But I think this is just kind of like another bump in the road, basically, is what we're looking at here. Alexa Bliss in action against Carmella. The match was not great, but I've never been a big fan of Carmella. I like Alexa Bliss, personally, and I really hope that she improves and keeps improving. Midway through the match, Blake and Murphy come out while Carmella has got Bliss in the legs Nelson. So Alexa bridges back and gets a 2 count off of that. She ends up hitting the glitz flip with after... wow, long day. She hits the glitz flip after she nails a very awkward arm drag off the top into somewhat of a pinning predicament. But yeah, that didn't really work out very well. It worked good on paper, but in practice didn't really work very well. It was kind of sloppy. But that happens sometimes. So this allows for a whip-in from Bliss to get reversed by Carmella into the side scissors from Carmella. Blake and Murphy got up on the ring apron for the distraction, and this allowed Alexa Bliss to nail her from behind and nail her with the Sparkle Splash off the top and get the 3 count. After the match is over, you have Blake and Murphy corner Carmella in the ring, and the chant rings out, "No means no." Gotta love the NXT universe. And gets the crowd on her side for the first time in ever, does Carmella, and basically says when Enzo and Big Cass win the tag team championships, all it's going to prove is Blake and Murphy are simply SAWFT soft. So yeah, tag team title match. I think Blake and Murphy retain with the not surprise turn from Carmella. And I think it leads to Blue Pants coming back and making the save, given the fact that, don't forget, Blue Pants' entrance theme is simply Cass singing the Price is Right theme. So yeah, makes perfect sense for me, and I think we're going to get that match probably at the next TakeOver if they don't just blow it off on a regular NXT. Hideo Itami is, of course, out officially of the number 1 contenders match, and it's either going to be A, he's going to be replaced by a surprise superstar, Samoa Joe, or someone else, and I don't know, something came over me, I don't know, and obviously, he's not going to compete tonight, but they're going to make mention of that, and he'll be a part of the show tonight, but he's not going to actually wrestle, because he can't. I mean, he's actually injured. He's going to be out for about 6 to 8 months at the earliest at this point. So, yeah, wish Hideo Itami the best, and hopefully he gets better soon. But it's his promo, of course, they didn't take out, because obviously they're still playing it up. He says he will win because Kevin Owens doesn't respect anyone and doesn't respect the championship, and that's the reason why he's going to take it from him. Makes sense. So Emma and Dana Brooke officially accept the challenge. So the match I already talked about, yeah, it's going to happen. And I find this interesting because I'm just looking at my notes here. And it's funny because you have Bayley and Charlotte, B and C, taking on Dana and Emma, D and E. So it's BC versus D and E. So this match is brought to you in part by the Count of Sesame Street. So yes, Sesame Street presents TakeOver in this match. So yeah, I thought that was entertaining. Main event time, it is a tag team match. Hideo Itami and Finn Balor once again teaming up against the Rosebudless Adam Rose, still sporting the Funkin' Virgil tights, and Tyler Breeze. I really enjoyed this match a lot. They gave it about 10 minutes, and I really enjoyed what I saw from this. So Rose hits a snap suplex, gets a 2 count on Balor, and tags in Tyler Breeze. He hits a suplex of his own, gets a 2 off of that, tags Rose back in, 2 European uppercuts, drops him the second time, makes a cover 1-2, and a kick out. So Finn fights his way out of the corner, and he walks right into the vicious spinebuster from Adam Rose, and that rolls right into... In essence, what he started out with was an elevated crab, but he set back with it into the Full Boston. And yes, that needs to be a band name, the Full Boston. I think it really does. So he gets to the ropes, and Tyler drops the leg dead insult to injury. Rose makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Rose locks on the sleeper and a jawbreaker out by Finn Balor. Rose catches the back elbow, and that basically staggers back, and Balor hits the Pele kick out of it. Double down, both men down, and of course, double tag in. Tyler Breeze in, hot tag to Hideo Itami, clothesline, and the leg sweep after catching the foot. Charging knee in the corner, the tornado hot shot. You know, we've called this a million times. Goes up top for the clothesline, does connect, but he hits Adam Rose instead as he gets in to try to take advantage. Kenta Rush on Tyler Breeze, and the round kick, spinning back kick, drops Tyler back into the corner, hits the hesitation drop kick, and Finn Balor tags himself in. So they argue for a minute. He hits the sling blade on Adam Rose. Of course, he can't stay out of the match, apparently. Finn hits the shotgun dropkick, sending Breeze headfirst into the buckle like always. He heads up top for the coup de grace, and Hideo tags himself in. Turnabout is fair play. Ends up getting rolled up into an inside cradle by Finn Balor, by Tyler Breeze, and gets the 3 count. So Tyler Breeze and Adam Rose win the match. Match over, basically... Balor and Itami, more dissension between the ranks, and one gets nailed from behind, and what happens is Tyler nails Itami with a supermodel kick and lays out Finn Balor with a beauty shot. After all is said and done, Adam Rose looks like he wants to somewhat celebrate with Tyler, and Tyler lays him out with a supermodel kick, and Tyler Breeze stands tall, which does not bode well for him winning tonight. In a perfect world, I think I'd rather see Tyler Breeze win this, because I'd rather see Tyler Breeze get a shot at the main event again. I thought it was not a failed experiment. I didn't think it went further enough. I mean, I didn't think it went as far as it possibly could have. I can see Tyler Breeze as an NXT champion down the line. I hope that they go that route and they pull the trigger on it. I don't necessarily know if they will, but I really hope it does happen. And I'm really curious to see what happens with the match with Finn Balor and insert name here, who may or may not be someone we already know. It rhymes with no, doesn't it? But yeah, pretty much without being cryptic, this could possibly be your official NXT debut of Samoa Joe. But Triple H basically said on the NXT conference call that he doesn't know if Joe's going to work with WWE down the line or in the near future. He basically could have been backpedaling, or Joe's just not coming. I mean, anything's possible. I know he's got some indie dates booked for up into August, actually. So I think, obviously, if he gets brought up to the main roster, or gets brought up to the NXT roster at the start, I mean, you could vouch for anything saying NXT is the main roster right now. But all that aside, I would say if Joe gets brought up to NXT, I would think that he still would fulfill his independent contracts. He basically has those matches he is booked for, so I think that he'll fulfill those before he goes full-time to NXT, but I don't know what's going to happen at this point. We could see Joe tonight, we may not. It just kind of depends. He could show up on the Full Sail tapings the next couple weeks when they tape the next night. So, we see, for the second time in the night, the Sami Zayn John Cena match that we had so much fun talking about on the podcast for Raw a couple weeks, and Sami says when he came out, he felt his shoulder pop, on his entrance because he was so much fire, and he came out and he tried to get the crowd into a frenzy. Where Canada made perfect sense that he would have the crowd already into a frenzy, and they were chanting Olay and everything. But he felt it pop on Cena's backdrop suplex, but he doesn't care. Nothing's going to stop him from getting his hands on Kevin Owens. So we get our face-to-face. Sami Zayn comes out. Kevin Owens comes out. Sami says, "This isn't about attacks. I just want to know why." I know you have an excuse, and there's a little bit of truth to everything, but this isn't the whole story. I know you well. You should realize that by now. Could it be because I got to NXT before you? Or could it be because your son likes to wear my shirt more than he likes to wear yours? I mean, that's a little trivial, but, I mean, bring a man's family into this, given the fact that Kevin Owens has pretty much solidified the fact that he is fighting for a prize and fighting for his family. He obviously knows that that's going to trigger something. Owens gets ready to say something. He walks out. Sami starts yelling at him, and Owens is constantly walking up to the top of the ramp, and he stops. And he says, "Everything you said from this moment forward is irrelevant." Wow, irrelevant. Long day. "You see, I know you're hurt. You're still hurt. I know I'm the one that hurt you, and I know exactly how I did it. At TakeOver, I'm going to do it again. But this time, you're not coming back." There's just chilling words to live by there from the NXT champion, Kevin Owens. This feud, far, far from over. I really think that this should be a really great match, and I'm really curious to see exactly how it ends. Sami Zayn going to get a flash pin and win the title back, or Kevin Owens is going to just demolish Sami Zayn yet again. But we've done that before, so I don't know if we'll do it again or not. It just kind of depends. There is a lot of truth to believe that there's a possibility Sami Zayn could take the title on tonight, and Kevin Owens could be brought up to the main roster and be the one to take the U.S. Championship off John Cena. But the thing is, it's non-title. It's officially announced non-title. So the match at Elimination Chamber that everyone is looking forward to is non-title. So yeah, I think that Kevin Owens is going to really have a nice couple of weeks for his career in WWE and NXT. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens from the show tonight. It looks really good. I think at this point that there's a good possibility that no titles change hands. I think that is a chance, because obviously I say, oh, there's going to be a title change. It never happens. So I'm going to say right now, no titles change hands. And Dana Brooke and Emma, they win. Charlotte gets brought up to the main roster by June. That's my prediction right now. I think she will be in WWE either by Money in the Bank or the night after Money in the Bank. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how TakeOver is going to go over tonight. I think it's going to be a really great show, as all the TakeOvers always are. And I'm sure they'll probably add a bonus match, maybe, I would say. I know the live crowd will get a dark match because we did. But maybe like Ty Dillinger, Jason Jordan, maybe that somewhat feud will continue. I can see that possibly happen. I know they were testing out a new gimmick for Ty Dillinger over the weekend, and maybe that could make it to television, even though they could wait until doing that for the next NXT tapings, which would be the next night in Full Sail. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going with, and I think that's what I'm going to go with for the show. So, that being said, that is your NXT recap for the week, and tonight, NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, and that is 8 p.m. on the WWE Network, and afterwards, I mean, give it an hour and a half afterwards, but 11:30 p.m. live on Pop, Ashley, myself, along with Mr. Entertainment, Aaron, and his friend, our special guest, Cleveland, is going to be discussing NXT TakeOver. So we're going to be talking about that. Talking all things NXT. Don't know exactly what the length of the podcast will be, but I can guarantee you it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be educational, and it's going to be fun and worth your while. And if you want to send us any questions you have for the podcast, tweet the hashtag NXT Popcast. Yes, NXT Popcast. And you also can tweet any of our 3 Twitter accounts if you want to ask us questions that way. Plus, we're going to have a live chat, so we're going to have some fun in that. And if you join us, great. If you don't, it's going to be archived for Thursday. So, yeah, that's going to be happening. Quick programming note about Pop for this week. So, tomorrow is going to be Sip and Snack. We're going to be focusing on magic chips. I finally get to do that on camera, like during a video for a change. And the Mountain Dew Sangrita Blast, the Taco Bell variation, that's going to be out tomorrow. AJ's movie reviews is Friday, and that is Poltergeist and Tomorrowland, possibly some limited releases as well. We've got a few of them, so I would say they'll be on there. Saturday, AJ and myself are going to be watching The Searchers, and that's right now, as of currently, that is, and we should be getting a new Gaming with Ash. In case that doesn't happen, I will probably do Impact on Saturday, but that's not a guarantee yet. Friday, we will also be doing a live Halloween Horror Nights popcast. Myself, along with my friend Tristan, HHN Fan 16, along with my friend Alex Show Official, and a couple other special guests are going to be joining us for talking all things Jack, all things Halloween Horror Nights 25, and we're going to talk about news, rumors, and speculation. Should be quite fun, as it always is. Sunday, brand new verses will kick you into at the end of the week, and that will be, of course, your cryptic comment being Teenage Wasteland. Monday will be your normal edition. I think that may end up being Impact, actually. If I don't do Impact, I'll probably do it on Monday. Monday will probably be Impact. Tuesday will be the WWE Raw Popcast, which, of course, is live 11:30 p.m. here on Pop. In the chat, of course, as always, will be Ashley and Aaron. Aaron is now joining us officially for the podcast. And, of course, we're going to lead you into Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, everything. Every day we have content here on Pop. So, that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. If you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you haven't yet, click like on our Facebook fan page. It's under Suro and Disney Pop, or search for Suro and Disney and Pop. While you're there, friend request me at Facebook at Owen Disney. Follow me on Twitter at Suro and Disney. And last but certainly not least, you want to talk WWE, TNA, NXT, movies, wrestling, Halloween horror, wrestling in general, like my former wrestling career, Halloween Horror Nights, ask me questions, theme park related stuff about Universal or Disney, or if you want to become a popcaster yourself, send your content, suroanddisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and tonight, 11:30 p.m., join us for NXT TakeOver Unstoppables podcast, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.